Hello, welcome back to the second half of learning the process of strategic planning. As mentioned earlier, Aubrey Malphurs is one of the major resources I've used in presenting this presentation. In his book, Advanced Strategic Planning, he talks about several very important components that make up this strategic planning process. What will you learn during this session? You will learn strategic planning in terms of structural development. There are some structures that are the foundation upon which you can build your values, mission, and vision. And then second, you will learn strategic planning in terms of strategic development. That is, how are you going to get the job done? And last, we will talk about some resources that will be used to assist you in the strategic planning process. Now let's get started.
We're back once again to the strategic planning process slide that you've seen several times. Values discovery, mission development, vision development. The new topic we will now look at is structural development. The structure of an organization is extremely important. After we know what our values are, we've written our mission statement, we also have our vision statement. Now we're ready to examine our structure. What is a structure? Well, the structure of an organization is the critical framework by which decisions are made and resources are brought to bear in fulfillment of the vision. A structure should be simple. It should help fulfill the vision. The structure helps promote efficiency and effectiveness. Now, what do I mean by those two words? Well, effectiveness is doing the right things. And then efficiency is doing things right. Now, as a rule, the simpler a structure is, the more efficient it can be in achieving the desired outcome. And of course, the desired outcome is to fulfill the vision. Think in terms of energy-efficient appliances or automobiles. As more and more features are added, they become more complex and require more energy to run. A simple organizational structure allows more resources to be devoted directly to the pursuit of the vision. A complex structure will demand an ever-increasing percentage of the resources, that is, money, people, and facilities. At the heart of it all lays a question of stewardship and return on investment. Return on investment is a matter of what is most important to you. Do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. Lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Matthew 6:19-21. This slide presents several examples of needed structures. These do not represent all of the needed structures, but they are an example. How are lesser decisions made? Do those decisions come before a larger body, or can a smaller group make lesser decisions? What about major decisions such as purchasing land or selling land or relocating or building buildings? How are those decisions made? And what about the annual ministry budget? How is it made? How is it put together? That's an important structure. And then the Constitution, bylaws. And then what about the team concept or the committee concept? What type of structure does the organization or ministry have? These are all important structures, and much attention should be given to them. If these are driven by the vision, they will help the congregation achieve that vision. We have looked at this strategic planning process, and we have delineated values discovered, and then mission development, vision development, structure development, and now we come to the last of these issues as we will talk about strategies for the organization. What are strategies? A strategy is a specific plan for accomplishing a task. Therefore, strategies could be defined as how your ministry will accomplish its mission. The strategy answers the question, how? How are we going to achieve this? How will we accomplish this plan that God has given to us. Most of what passes today for strategic planning is nothing more than tactical planning at best. It's not that strategy isn't valued. Mostly it seems that strategy isn't understood. Now there are three primary areas where strategic planning falls short. First, it can lack focus. Strategy cannot be effective without a clear vision. In other words, strategy exists for the accomplishment of the mission or the vision. Without a shared understanding of a church's calling, that is its vision, ministry leaders and staff members can design strategies based upon their own understanding of where they think the church needs to go. 10 different leaders will have 10 different ideas in terms of the direction the church should go. You see the problem? Second, strategic planning gets skipped, and the planners move directly to tactical planning without realizing it. Most of what we label as strategic planning is really tactic. And finally, we usually fail to include a means of assessment in our strategic plans. How are we to know if we have accomplished the objective if there is no definition of success or means of measuring it for each strategy adopted? Now, I want you to see the reasons for having a good strategy. It helps us accomplish the mission and the vision. It facilitates understanding among the members of the congregation in terms of knowing where we're going and how we're going to get there. It provides a sense of spiritual momentum, and you cannot put a price on the big mo. Momentum is extremely important. It invests God's resources properly. We, in this day, must recognize that stewardship is an important ingredient, and if we don't use the resources of God wisely, we will not be good stewards. And then it displays what God is blessing. And it's wonderful to put on display how God is ministering, how He's building disciples, how people are being baptized, how those that are being baptized then are engaged in ministry. So strategies are extremely important. Developing a strategic plan is crucial for the development of the modern church. If we don't have a vision, people are going to go in every direction, a direction that they determine, rather than the direction that God has established for the church or the ministry. I want to encourage you to take the things that we have shared together and talked about in this lecture and use them to help begin a process of developing your own strategic plan. Use a group of people that will help you develop a strategic plan. In the process, they will begin to own the mission and the vision of the church. They will help you discover what the values are. Then you can develop your structures and your strategies on top of that. I encourage you to go forward now and take this material and use it. Additional resources used in this presentation came from a book entitled The Performance Factor by Pat McMillan, Sticky Teams by Larry Osborne, and then also the Church Health Institute of the Baptist State Convention of North Carolina. May the Lord bless you richly as you apply this material in your ministry.